Welcome to Vocab Unit 9. Your first root is ami or amic, which means love. To help you remember that, this is the verb for love in Spanish. Your Romance languages, Italian and French, also have words for love that sound similar. Your first word is amiable. It's an adjective, and friendly is the best way to remember it. This is a word that's used really easily. So if this is a friendly child, you could call him also an amiable child. Same thing in the sample sentence. Ken has become such an amiable young man just means that he is friendly. Your next word is enamor, which is to fill or inflame with love. So you can be enamored with someone, or you could be enamored with something. The helpful hint tells you that you usually use it with of or with. He was enamored of cat videos, or he was enamored with videos of crazy cat antics. So I would just remember to use that preposition afterwards. Anthropomorphic means making an animal or a god look like a person. So this dog over here is anthropomorphic because someone has dressed him up like Santa Claus. Quick distinction, people sometimes confuse this with personification, but personification is a literary device, right? It's figurative language, whereas when anthropomorphism is actual physical, making animals look like people or making gods look like people. The sample sentence down here says the family wasn't interested in the cheap anthropomorphic sentimentality of dressing up their pets in tiny outfits. So that would be not a family who would dress their dog up like a person. Also worth noting, when we talk about anthropomorphic gods, that's not like dressing gods up like Santa Claus, but rather that would be imagining our gods as having human form. All right, so on to the next word is misanthrope, which is a hater of mankind. And your sample sentence tells you that Claude became a misanthrope after he lived alone for a long time. So a misanthrope really is just someone who hates everyone. You would think of someone who is mean to everyone and grumpy and just doesn't like human company. Ascent is upward movement. I will also add here for you the verb form is to ascend. So you could say that this person over here is making an ascent to the top of the mountain, or he is ascending the slope. The helpful hint tells you that it can be literal or metaphorical, so you can ascend a mountain or you can ascend the ranks of a job. And the sample sentence is about an ascent through the office ranks. Your next word is condescend, which essentially means to talk down to someone. So I'm just going to add that there for you. So this person over here looks like they are perhaps thinking that they are very right and that the other person doesn't know what they're talking about. So if someone is trying to explain something to you and they kind of sound like a know-it-all, you might say that they have a condescending attitude or that they are condescending to you. If you look in the helpful hints, someone with a condescending attitude is someone who's talking down to people. So that's a really good word to know as well, that condescending is the adjective. And the sample sentence is talking about Bill, who is an older brother who condescends to him. Older siblings are often condescending towards their younger siblings because they think that they know more than they do. Dissonance is your next word, and it means inharmonious sound. Cacophony is also a good synonym for that. So both dissonance and cacophony refer to sounds that don't sound good together. So if you look at that, that's some like young children kind of learning how to play the drums. So their music might be marked by dissonance. I'll also give you as an adjective dissonant. So you could say that they were making dissonant sounds or dissonant music. You can also use dissonance to talk about like conflict between people. So discord or conflict. So you could say that like the group didn't work well together because their conversations were always characterized by dissonance, or they experienced a lot of dissonance as they tried to work together, so it didn't work well. And the sample sentence talks about a banjo player that's dissonant. Resonance is your next son word. This one, if you think about re as being again, re-sounding or echoing. So you could talk about a literal musical note having resonance if it like echoes and reverberates. You can also talk about the resonance of something through history if an event or a person had a big impact on history. You could say that that resonated through history, or that their actions had resonance through history. So the helpful hint also gives you resonate as a verb. A passage of text that resonates with readers, right? So kind of like echoes in their minds or has an effect. Your sample sentence says that a mother's advice had a really strong resonance with her two children, or you could say her advice resonated with her two children. They remembered it for a long time. Impugn is a great word. It means to criticize or challenge something. Important to note that you are challenging a statement. So you impugn someone's statement, or you impugn someone's argument, you impugn someone's logic. The sample sentence is the senator impugned his rival's claim. And pugnacious means liking to fight. This is a pretty straightforward word. So someone who's always trying to get into fights would be described as pugnacious. And the sample sentence is about a family that got a pugnacious cat that always wanted to get into fights. So this isn't one of your synonyms, but I like to think of inspiring as the same as motivating. So I'm just going to add motivate there, right? So if you're trying to inspire someone to write a beautiful poem, you're trying to motivate them to write a beautiful poem. So in some way, you're influencing them and getting them to do something really, really positive. So this is a word with a very positive connotation. The sample sentence is about a coach trying to inspire his team with a great halftime speech. So trying to motivate them or inspire them so that they will win. Transpire is your next word, super straightforward. It means to occur. And often it'll be used when you're trying to figure out what happened. So here there's a police officer who is trying to figure out what transpired at the crime scene the previous night. Or you would talk about a newspaper article writing about what transpired at wherever they're writing about. Your sample sentence is talking about detectives who were able to discover exactly what transpired on the night of the break-in. So happen is a really good synonym for transpire as well. Tactile is your next word, which is awesome because you already know tactile because of tactile imagery. Right, so last year, or a couple units ago, we had the word auditory, which you knew from auditory imagery. Tactile imagery has to do with touch. The sample sentence talks about the tactile qualities of reading real books because you can touch them. So the specific ways in which I would use tactile would be with tactile imagery, or the tactile qualities of an experience of reading something. Interacting with something in a tactile way would mean touching it. Tangential means irrelevant, so not having to do with the main topic. If you talk about someone going off on a tangent, that comes from the same idea as tangential. So if you're on a tangent, you're talking about something that's irrelevant to the main topic. Your sample sentence says that Marta's stories are tangential, so they're not really relevant to where she started. Alleviate means to lessen or to relieve. So you might alleviate pain with some ibuprofen. You might alleviate thirst with some water. So something that's wrong with you that you want to make better, you want to alleviate. The sample sentence says that a relaxing day at the beach can alleviate stress. Your next and final word is captivate, which means to capture and hold the attention of. So you see that capt, which is like capturing something, but it's not literally capturing someone, it's capturing someone's attention. So if there is a captivating speaker, for example, everyone is paying attention. So I'm just going to write that down here. Captivating means that you are holding everyone's attention. So you're going to make a captivating speech. Or you could captivate your audience. And your sample sentence says that Mike was impressed at how well the storyteller could captivate such a large audience of small children. Right, to captivate an audience, to hold their attention.